autonomous and context-aware, capable of making real-time decisions in complex environments. Through innovations like reinforcement learning, digital twins, and computer vision, companies can now deploy robots faster and smarter. Join Diego Tartara, CTO at Globant, and Ramiro Diaz Trepat, CTO at InOrbit, as they discuss how these advancements are reshaping the future of industries.
Hi everyone, here Diego Tartara, Chief Technology Officer at Globant. I'm super happy to be hosting this panel. Here with me, Ramiro Diaz Trepat, Chief Technology Officer at InOrbit. Hello, Ramiro.
Hi, Diego. How are you today?
Super thrilled to have you here. Super happy. Can you tell us a little bit of InOrbit?
Sure. At InOrbit, we work to produce a software platform for robot orchestration, and we believe in doing fleet management that is robot agnostic and observing all the moving things inside the warehouse or wherever the place the robots are operating. So we are leveraging AI tools to allow companies to execute on their business processes more efficiently, using robots of multiple brands, using other kinds of equipment that are needed in their business processes, including human-driven vehicles like forklifts and things like that. But to have a real view and you have to really observe everything, not only the robots, but we focus on the robots.
That's great. Speaking about robots, I mean, I think the vast majority of people, whenever are thinking about robots, they associate them with, manufacturing process. As an example, typical image that comes to mind is robot arms repeating over and over certain tasks. But I'm pretty sure the landscape is quite different nowadays. Can you give us an overview of what's happening in the business?
Yeah, sure. We all associate manufacturing because that's where robots were born, and mostly everyone thinks of like an assembly line in a car factory. Everyone remembers decades ago we already had huge robot arms that were putting together parts of a car in an assembly line. But those robots were like very different from the robots that are producing a revolution right now. Those robots were not aware of their environment and basically didn't make any decisions. In my mind, those robots were much closer to intelligent machines than to anything that could display any autonomy or decisions to execute a task. Current robots, the ones we are talking about today, are called in general AMRs or autonomous mobile robots, or in general they are robots that have awareness of their environment and have some degree of freedom to decide on how to execute their tasks best. So right now, I believe that even in manufacturing, there is a ton of space to grow with autonomous mobile robots in general. And manufacturing is where everything started, but it's definitely not the only industry. Robots are coming basically everywhere, even in the places where everyone would think they are already prevalent, like logistics. The penetration of that industry right now is about 10% only. So really there's a ton of room to grow for autonomous robots. And I don't know, I could mention many more. We have customers in the agriculture business, so robots that work outside of a closed space that are really needed. In hospitality, so you have lots of robots that can work in clinics and in hotels, also stadiums. That is robots that are very different because those are robots that work in an unstructured environment where they have a lot more interactions with humans than robots in a warehouse or in a factory environment where everything is much more ordered and can be predicted much more.
I was about to ask you that. I was, while you were describing this, I was thinking about, typically a manufacturing facility is a super controlled environment. But the most move away from there and start going into less controllable type of environments, mixed with humans, etc., that's where we see the big opportunity, right?
I see the big opportunity in all the industries. In unstructured environments, like you're mentioning, with AI and robotics, there's an incredible amount of things to do. I can cite examples. For instance, we work with a hospital, huge hospital in the US, and robots, for instance, have to avoid getting in the way of doctors. So, for instance, some robots can travel in elevators, and before getting into an elevator, they have to realize with computer vision if there's a gurney with a patient and doctors, and then not to bother them, they shouldn't get into that elevator, for instance. All those simple things are obviously solved with AI. Robots have to queue, before getting to only one can get into the elevator and decide things on as things go on. Basically, I think the fun thing about AI with robots is AI can have a very strong impact in the physical world, and that happens through robots, basically. And that's, I think, one of the key messages I wanted to convey.
That's great, because that was actually my next question, and I wanted to go deeper there. So, what are the trends in AI and machine learning that have impacted the industry? And more specifically, I would like to understand if Gen AI, particularly, is relevant to the industry and it has unlocked like a next level of potential.
So as you know very well, AI it's an umbrella term that has a ton of things underneath, and the poster child of that is LLMs and generative AI. Those have obviously an important place. We are actually using part of our products is something we call Robots Copilot. It's an RAG application that you can define in natural language new missions for robots, for instance, and any operator without any technical knowledge could command a robot to do something, specifically participate in a factory process. But I think everything under the umbrella of AI has a huge potential in robotics. We are using machine learning, we are using computer vision, not only natural language processing. And mostly, I think we are focusing on reinforcement learning techniques to optimize missions and processes. At the end of the day, I believe that many people were asking themselves, what is the real business case behind AI? And I think we will deliver a lot of that because we can deliver in the physical world, and that's where most businesses happen. We, for instance, both of our companies are partners with NVIDIA. NVIDIA has great technologies that are used in this context, like Metropolis and Omniverse. With Metropolis, you can very easily track, movement of people and things inside the space. That already provides a ton of information for path planning for your robots to make your business process more efficient and more resilient. And with Omniverse, what you can do is also something that contributes a lot. That is, you can train through reinforcement learning, and you can run hundreds of millions of times, possibly, a model, so that the agents learn how to optimize the process in ways that, I would say before AI would be impossible due to the computational complexity that they require. So I don't know if I answer you correctly, but
That's perfect. That's perfect. So And with regards to design, operation control, do you see digital twinning as a relevant technology?
I see it as a very relevant technology. We are using it for, in the robot world, training robots and training missions is very expensive, or replicating what happened with a robot. So for instance, if you design a mission inside your warehouse, it's much cheaper and better to test it inside a digital twin of your warehouse and put it in the real world once it's ready and tested in the digital twin.
So how long until you start? I mean, I'm thinking about, and this is a personal question because I need it. How long until I have a general purpose robot at home?
A general purpose robot at home, I think you can have one not so long from now, like perhaps in 5 years.
Can we make like three? Remedy. Do you see robots taking roles or the place where formerly were being executed by humans? Do you see collaboration?
So far, I mostly see collaboration, not replacement.
Again, Ramiro, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you. Always a pleasure speaking with you.